your skilled applications.
On today's immigration is PMF concept. My name is Ruwan. Hello there. Do you want to study? Number 3 on the list, we have
Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube page once again, Immigration with PMF, and I have with me Omolola. On the last episode, we discussed how study gap affects as an international student, your study application as well as your visa application.
And this week we'll be talking about how age gap affects your study and visa application as an international student.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content if you find it useful.
So we get questions like, is there any age limit to apply in certain countries? From experience as an international admission specialist, I've not had any case where they're giving a particular age to apply to a particular course. Most of the times, all they need you to show are documents, like we mentioned in our last video. They just need you to show documents of what you've been doing in so period. If you had if you're going in for bachelor's and you've been home, let's say you've been home for a long time, they'll need to know what you have been doing within these periods. Yeah, so for most of the times we don't really get I don't really get to see a particular school asking that people of certain age should apply. And however, if you're an underage student that wants to apply, let's say you're 17 and you want to apply, you'll be needing the consent of your parents because they believe you're still they believe you can't make decisions on your own, and you'll be needing the guidance of your parents. So for age limitation, there's really no big deal about age limitation. You can always put in for your application if you are even over 40, as far as you can explain what you've been doing within those years.
In addition to the points you just raised now, particularly from the perspective of an underage going to as an international student applying for to study, in such a case, for the visa application process, such an applicant will be needing a guardian. Either one of the parents will be traveling together with the child due to the fact that such a child is underage and cannot make certain decisions on themselves. So it's either one of the parents will be traveling as a guardian with such an applicant, or there's this convention of getting a guardian ad litem in the country in which the applicant is going to study. There are people that do that as a profession, as like officially they do that to be like a guardian for a child in those countries where you're going to, because it is a stricto sensu rule when you need to have a guardian for these countries. So in that case of undergraduates, an international student as an applicant, you need to fulfill that requirement. And these are some of the ways in which you can do it: by having one of the parents travel as a guardian, or by appointing a guardian ad litem in the country in which the applicant is going to study in. And this would help double down the bottleneck such an applicant might face during the visa application process. So I think it's instructive to commence by stating unequivocally that a whole lot of factors are considered when an international student's visa application is being taken under consideration by visa officers. So in that light, I'll be listing the certain factors and discussing how they affect the application as a whole. So not just the age, because in this particular episode, the age is our focus. And now, some of these factors are things like your genuine purpose as a student, your financial ability. Are you able to meet up with the finances involved in your application? All these factors put together, plus the age of this particular international student that is applying. So for instance, let's say you're 40, you're 41, and you're putting in for a diploma program. The visa officer starts to, or you're putting in for a bachelor program. The visa officer starts to look at why is such an applicant putting in for a bachelor's program at 40. What is the end goal? What is life expectancy for such a person? What do you want to do with this particular degree you're trying to acquire?
Sorry to cut you short there. I think that's when the study gap explanation comes in. That's
Definitely.
when you explain what you're doing for that long.
Definitely. But and what I'm saying is, it raises some sort of curiosity in the mind of the visa officer that 40 you're going for an undergraduate program. When are you going to bloom? You're not a traditional student anymore. You are a non-traditional student because you are not following the normal progression. You've had a whole lot of you. Okay, for example, what is the essence of you going to study a bachelor's program? You're looking to establish yourself in a certain field. You've been working for, let's say, 20 years. You've made money already, so you cannot say the reason you are going back to school is to make money. You've already been working, you've been making money, and you've already established that in your study SOP already. So those are the things that works on the visa officer's mind and says, oh, I'm not going to grant this application. This person is way too old for the level of education being sought. So some other things that they look at are your location and your nationality. You're in Africa, you're Nigerian, you're Ghanaian. Our location is some sort of disadvantage already because the few persons from these locations are always looking for greener pastures. It's not bad to look for greener pastures, by the way, but we flock more towards that side, and they've taken cognizance of that. That a lot of persons are actually not looking to study; they're just looking for a pathway into the country at first. So those are the things that play on their mind. That at 40, 41, at 35, at 37, you're looking to leave or put yourself from your country and go and start a program which they feel it's low to your age at that point in time. So if you were going for a master's per se now, it's quite understandable. You can explain to a large point, like you said in your SOP, that, oh, okay, I'm trying to acquire my master's in this field because I'm trying to establish myself. I'm trying to specialize in this field, and that's why I'm going for my master's. When you already have your first degree, so in that instance, it's quite understandable why someone of that age would be looking to specialize. But when you're of a certain age and you're going for a certain kind of program, it just raises doubt. Now, do you have a background in the course you are looking to study? Which is what I just explained now. If you don't have a background in a certain course and you're looking to go for a higher program in that particular background that you're going for, there's some sort of disordinance between what you're doing before and what you're trying to do now. So that as well raises a doubt in the mind of the visa officer as regards your true intentions, and they look at it from the perspective of your age and the purpose for your travel. Now, another thing is, like I mentioned, level of education sought in application and level of education already acquired. So if you already have a master's, you're trying to go for another master's in something else that is totally distinct from what you already had a master's in, I'm sure from even from the admission point of view, it's always a bit chaotic.
Exactly, exactly. Because whatever you are applying for has to align.
So if that alignment is missing, they start poking into, okay, you already have a master's in degree in the course A, you already have your undergraduate your first degree in course A, and now you're looking to do your master's in course B. That's entirely different. So yes, an explanation to that event would be good, but those are the things that makes it more less probable for your applications to be looked at in a good light, especially when you're of a particular age in that regard. Another thing I think, another point I feel is always hammered on is, are you including your dependents in your application? So when you're of a certain age and your dependents are part of the application, it raises the probability that you are looking to migrate fully, and you are not just, your purpose is not genuine for studies alone. You're looking to move your whole family away. And if you are 25, the chances are you're still young, and but once you're in a certain age of 40, your productivity level is deemed to be diminishing. Nobody is going to expect you to provide optimally from a certain age. So from 25 down or upwards to like 40, your productivity level is at the peak, is getting better. You can only get to the peak at those age. But from 40 downwards, you're like on a downward spiral of some sort. It's not immediate, but it's a process. You're in a downward spiral. So they look at what value is this person actually adding, taking your whole family for your undergraduate program or for your graduate program that's a year. Those are the things that makes your age and everything else coupled, the other factors I mentioned coupled, look make it look less probable for an applicant, an international student that is looking to go into for these courses. And I feel these are the things that you need to always take cognizance of as an international student when making your applications. Understand your own personal circumstances. That means your age, your location, your nationality, your background, your educational background, and the level of education you already have acquired, and the one you are seeking to get now. Because all these things in the end is what creates the full picture for the visa officer that's sitting on your application. From the admission point of view, once you most of the time fulfill the requirements, yes, you get the admission. But for the visa application, they are taking into cognizance the safety of their country and the well-being, economic well-being of their country in the long run. So they are trying to limit from the wave of things this year and flowing from last year. Most countries are tightening their immigration laws against having a lot of migrants coming to the country, even be it via study permits, because they know that is like one of the major routes in which a lot of persons come, a lot of international students come into the country and don't leave again. Yes, in as much as they want international students to come in and they have um, jobs and stuff like that, they know you are promising, they know you add to their community, you add to whatever it is. They also want to limit the number of persons because they also want to cater for their own citizens and their own populace. So finding the balance between these two things is why these countries are making these laws that they've made in the past year, and this till we speak currently. Like Canada now, they've brought in their quota system, issuance of attestation letters to know how many international students are actually coming in a year. They're trying to track all these things, and these are the things that we need to take into cognizance while putting your application, so as not to fall foul of these new laws that are getting in place.
Watch today for that.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like our page and share this content if you found it useful.
Number three was
Also subscribe.